Hello there, and you're very welcome to another episode of the Arkham Avengers FFPL podcast. You join me, the host, along with Eamon, Hector, and Captain Fantastical Mick, where we take a look to see how the managers in this league are getting on for the season. However, we'll also be talking about much more. So kick back, stay tuned, and enjoy. And you're very welcome to this week's show. Of course, I'm joined by Eamon and Hector. Captain Fantastical Mick hasn't joined us this week. He's been detained. I hope he hasn't been locked up. No, he's just been detained with some business. But he'll hope to be with us next week. Lads, I think before we really get into this week's show, we must touch the tragedy in Cresslough and the awful loss of life that took place there last Friday on the 7th of October. People going about their business. The simple task of doing a bit of shopping, going to the post office, getting money from an ATM. And suddenly, the path of their lives changed with that one explosion or an explosion at that shop and that garage. 10 people died. And you think of it, the range of the ages there, lads, from 59 years down to 5 years of age. And not to mention either those people who've been injured. Eamon, your thoughts on this?
Well, yes, this explosion really has had a profound effect on so many lives. You're talking about the families, neighbours, friends, all have been impacted. And the loss of those lives taken so unexpectedly. You're going around, as you said, doing daily jobs, and in your daily routine of going into a shop, the last thing you're going to think of or you expect is that you're not going to walk out. I think that this unannounced event has shook many of us throughout the country. And not to say Irish people across the world, especially the diaspora, Donegal. And certainly people won't get over this to some degree. This is going to haunt people in that community for a long time to come. Funerals this week are only going to bring home the sense of loss. And it's very hard to put into words. We all feel sympathy. We all feel sorry. But there's loss there.
Hector, any thoughts yourself there?
Well, I think it's very, very sad. You ask, people will ask, why it happened, and they have no answer. You think of all the things those people who died that they could have gone on to do, live their lives while they're still alive, do so much for themselves and for other people. We have to think of the parents, the siblings, the loved ones, the friends, and how they now have this very big loss in their lives, big hole in their hearts. And I think also we need to remember the emergency services, the first responders, the volunteers who worked to try and save lives and to help the wounded. I think what come across to me is the sense of in the community, the resistance. And I think this is going to try and help people through the weeks and months ahead as they try to come to terms with what happened.
Indeed it will. I think, lads, you've touched on many things there. And it is a community that's reeling from this shocking event. There'll be a lot of soul-searching questions being asked and a lot of what-ifs. For the people up there in Donegal, in this community, we here in the panel just want to convey our deepest sympathies to all of those who have lost loved ones, friends, and to all in that community. Our thoughts and prayers are with you all. And now we'll move on to something different. Eamon, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm doing well. Surprised that Captain Fantastical Mick wasn't here. Then again, I think I'd have to come to terms with maybe he's here or not. But I'm good. Yes, I'm quite good.
And Hector, how are you?
I am well, thank you. Very good. Busy, doing lots of things.
Good to hear there. Eamon, are you back with Eamon Tackles this week?
And I did think about it. I gave a lot of thought to the topic this week. I have a subject in mind. However, I think that what I would be tackling pales into insignificance when you think about what's happened in Donegal. And I think for this week, we might just park Eamon Tackles, and we'll come back to it maybe next week or that.
Very well, Eamon. That's quite all right. Hector, have you anything for our listeners this week, considering that you forgot your paperwork last week?
Yes, I am here. I have my piece on the theology and the psychology of fantasy football transfers. You want me to start now?
Well, by all means. I'm looking forward to this. Eamon, are you?
I have to say, not really. This is just another 2 or 3 minutes of my life that I'm going to lose as he rabbits on here.
Take it away, Hector.
I thank you. Remember last time I spoke of the inner voice? After a game week finish, you look at your team, you see the points your players earned, you look around at your competition, and you think the player or players that they brought in maybe do better than your transfer. What do? Your knee goes and you get to transfer quickly, get guys in, left and center. You panic, you shrug shoulders, you think, oh well, maybe you throw your chicken sandwich in the bin because you are, hipped off. Maybe you have tea, coffee.
Maybe you'd better get on with this.
My view, you breathe. You in with air and out with air. Go deep with air, lungs full, staring ahead, thinking what you have to do.
Crying out, can we do something about this? Please, I'm asking here. We need to do something about this.
Hold on, Eamon. Let's just see where he's going with this. Thank you. Now not time to be psyched out by transfers for your other managers. You see them flying in with players in and out. Don't worry about them. Now with your inner voice, you look at fixtures, the money that you have, you contemplate on what players or players would help you. You reflect.
Hold on a second. Hold on. This isn't yoga or some sort of psychology, Hector. I mean, come on.
I know, Eamon. It is the deep thinking. It is not the bowing to the pressure of other transfers, feeling you have to do the transfers. It is a rebound to being true to yourself, your beliefs.
Your beliefs? What beliefs?
Yes, you believe you make good transfers when you are in the good place, in the good spot.
I can tell you certainly, I'm not in a good space or place listening to this rubbish, this codology.
Eamon, listen to me. Breathe in through nose, out through mouth. We do this together. Hector, hold on, Hector. Before you go at all of this breathing stuff, I have to say, I'm hearing less and less about your theology and psychology each time you start to talk about it. And I am now at the point where I'm wondering, have you actually done with this? Have you run out of content? Maybe you'd like to talk about some other sort of a topic. No, you hear me. You need to open your ears. Eamon needs to breathe. All be well, you see. No, hold on. If you have nothing further of value to speak about on this topic, I think this week we leave it as it is and leave it at that. Huh? What? Hold on. Are you cutting me off? As Eamon would say, you're waffling. If you return into this subject now in the future, will you do me a favor and let me see what you've written down so I can have a look at this and see is it worthwhile? I don't understand. Why? Why so? Because Hector, you have a tendency to go off track. Now, in fairness, be honest. But hold on, I am seeing here, I am not gone off track.
You said it, Hector.
Yeah, I did. I'm not on the track.
Yeah, you're not on the track. Yeah, you're off the track.
I'm not. I am not on any track.
Listen, Hector, in my book, ask me, you're always off track.
Hold on, what track? What track? I know nothing of track. I say I not know what this track of that you speak of.
Hector, baby, just breathe. In through the nose, out through the mouth.
Very funny, Eamon. Ha, very funny. Okay, right. Go on. We leave that as it is. Why not finished? Hector, you're finished this week, okay? That's enough of the breathing, inner voices, the rest of the stuff. We'll park it right there now. Before, though, that we go and take a look at how game week 10 went for our managers, I was wondering if Hector might have an update on the search for the mystery man who said the recitation. Oh, yes, I nearly forgot about that. Yes, the man behind the recommendation. Yes.
No, Hector, can you not get this right? The word is recitation. It's recitation, okay?
Eamon, you don't have to say it twice. I'm not deaf. I heard it. As I say, I'm onto the man who do the recalculation. I like the Columbo. I get his scent, do I do. During the week, I heard that the local priest might know who this man is, but the priest was so busy I could not catch up with him. However, this is where my skills in asking the question came out. I met a woman in the local post office, and she said she heard this man might have been a DJ in the 1970s. Like Columbo, I'm looking into this. The word is that he might have operated in a place called County Monaghan. I'll be checking all of this out, though.
Let me get this right. A person in the post office told you the man could have been a DJ in the 1970s in County Monaghan.
Yes.
And are you going to try and trace this man from the 1970s to the Saturday night in Moydu where he gave the recitation?
Yes.
Well, good luck with that, Hector. That's all I have to say. But that might take you a little while, Hector, you know. You're on a mission to find the man behind the recitation, that's for sure.
Don't worry, Hector on the case. I find the man behind the recognition.
Recitation, Hector. For crying out loud, it's recitation.
Eamon, don't cry about it. All right, just breathe. Okay. That's it. Stay tuned, folks, to see how Hector's investigation goes. I think we better have a look to see how the managers in our league got on this week. Gameweek 10 had highest points of 121. The average points were 58. Eamon, do you want to take a look at a couple of the managers and talk us through them here?
I certainly will. That won't be any problem here. Well, there's no change in first place. Taiga is there with 49 points. Didn't have any transfers. Halland was the captain for 12 points. Tony was there with 5 points. Harrison had 2 points. Zaha had 5 points. De Bruyne came in with 6 points. Madison had 1 point. Delot had 2 points. James had 1 point. Diaz had 6 points. Trippier came in with 7 points, which was very nice. And the goalkeeper, Pope, had 2 points. This is their first week on the drop again. They had been on the rise. And I think there's a little bit of pressure building on this manager. There's a few misfits there in that team, especially in the midfield and in defence. And their form, and this is the manager I'm talking about, their form is up and down. They need a little bit of consistency here. The pressure is starting to build. They're holding first place. But unless they start to do something really, really serious here, I think they're in a spot of trouble. In second place, no change either, is Raglan Road, 58 points. They had 1 transfer. Trossard was brought in for 2 points and Odegaard was put out for 4 points. They too had Haaland as the captain for 12 points. Jesus had 6 points. Zaha had 5. Trossard had 2 points. Bernardo had 3 points. Salah had 2 points. Tarkowski had 1 point. Trippier was there with the 7 again. And Cancelo had 18 points, which is excellent. Gabriel pulled in a paltry 1 point. The goalkeeper, Martinez, had 2 points. And this manager is also down this week. The transfer, without a doubt, backfired. Like they brought in Trossard and they put Odegaard out. Again, there's some more misfits here in this team. Cancelo, in my view, has saved his bacon this week. Their form is up and down as well. I mean, look, Bernardo with 3 points. Salah has 2 points. A couple of those lads in defence are putting in 1 point at a time. They're not really giving what you need. They're not getting bang for buck.
Okay. And in third place then?
No change either. In third place is the good, the bad, and the goalie. 77 points. 2 transfers. And Foden was brought in for 11 points. Salah went out for 2 points. Kane came in for 7 points. And they put Jesus out for 6 points. The captain is Haaland with 12 points. Kane had 7 points. Andres had 6 points. Martinelli was there with 12 points. Luis Diaz had the 3 points. Foden, as I said, had 11 points. Dyer is in defence with 6 points. Saliba had 1 point. Cancelo had 18 points. And Alexander-Arnold didn't pick up any points, and the goalkeeper, Ward, had 1 point. This manager is 4 weeks on the rise. We're seeing the quality rising here. We're seeing the quality come out. We're seeing the experience of the manager here. Smart transfers paid off. The injuries that they picked up, though, might be of concern, and something that the manager's going to have to factor in.
Okay. And fourth place then?
Fourth place, well, there's 2 in joint fourth as it is. However, Lafayette Lions, who were in 5th, are up to 4th, 72 points, 2 transfers. Trippier came in for 7 points and they put Patterson out who's injured. Longstaff came in for 2 points and they put Odegaard out for 4 points. Again, Haaland is the captain for 12 points. Kane was there with 7 points. Højbjerg has 3 points. Grosh, 2 points. Longstaff, 2 points. Martinelli had 12 points. De Bruyne had 6 points. Cancelo was there with the 18 points. Salah was there with 1 point. Trippier, as I said, at 7 points. The goalkeeper, Pope, had 2 points. They're 1 week on the rise. The transfers are a bit mixed. Bringing in Trippier was very good, but I'm afraid Longstaff, and Odegaard, that transfer didn't pay off. They have quite a few players who are picking up 2 points. Not really that great. And I think, though, it's work in progress. They're on the rise. They're working through issues. They're going places.
And you said there's another manager also in fourth place.
Yes, still in fourth also is Arkham Avengers, 71 points. 2 transfers. Anthony came in for 8 points and Gundogan went out. He didn't get any points. McAllister came in for 2 points and Paqueta went out for 8 points. And this week they had their thinking hat on and went for Haaland as the captain, 12 points. Tony had 5 points. Jesus had 5 points. Anthony, as I said, had 8 points. McAllister had 2 points. Martinelli had 12 points. Salah, 2 points. Cancelo was there with 18 points. James had 1 point. Struik, though, had 6 points, and their goalkeeper, Ray, didn't have any points. The spoofer is 1 week on the rise. Again, transfer is very mixed there. The McAllister and the Paqueta transfer didn't work out. However, they do have a solid forward line. Haaland, Tony, Jesus picking up the points, and that's good. They're picking up points around the pitch as well. And I suppose the good thing for the spoofer this week is they didn't manage to shoot themselves in the foot. We'll have to wait and see what they decide to do in the next game week.
Thank you, Eamon, for that. Hector, would you like to talk about some of the other players and the managers here?
Thank you. For a moment I thought I was not going to get a chance to talk here.
No. All is fair here. Now, 6th place, Hector.
In 6th place, the Cambai Cancelo, 68 points, no transfers. Their captain was Haaland for 12 points. Kane was there with 7 points. Grosh had 2 points. Martinelli had the 12 points. Zaha had 5 points. Maddison had 1 point. Cancelo was there with the 18 points. They also had Trippier, who got 7. Perisic had 1 point. James had 1 point. And Pope had 2 points. They are 2 weeks on the rise. I think, though, they need to address some players who are only picking up the 1 point, not really doing what they need to do. It is not a finished team. In 7th place, no change either. Wahabuhi 99, 67 points, no transfers either. They had Haaland as the captain for 12 points, Tony 5 points, Jesus had 5 points, McAllister had the 2 points, Martinelli had 12, De Bruyne had 6, Trossard had 2, Saliba had 1 point. They had the Cancelo, who got the 18 points, Martinez got 2 points, and the goalkeeper, Pope, also got 2 points. They are 1 week on the rise. Good forward line, but I think they need to shake up the defence. Not good. Very wishy-washy in my view there.
Okay. 8th place, any change there?
8th place, no change. Maximum effort, 72 points. 1 transfer. Thiago Silva came in. He didn't play. Varane went out. He got 1 point. Haaland was brought in for 12 points. Jesus went. He got the 5 points, so he did. Odegaard got 8 points. Luis Diaz got 3 points. De Bruyne got the 6 points. Bruno Guimaraes got 15 points. St. Maximin, though, only got the 1 point. Van Dijk had 1 point. Botman managed 2 points. They had the Cancelo, though, with the 18 points. And their goalkeeper, Ramsdale, managed to pick up a point. This is their 2nd week on the rise. This week, the transfer no work. Good points, though, from the coming in for the forwards. The midfield, not doing too bad, They look good. They are better than some other teams. The defence, though, is letting them down, But overall, a good week for them. Looking good.
Okay, 9th place then. Hector, you take it away there.
Okay. 9th place, no change. Best season ever, 51 points. 2 transfers. Kerr came in for 1 point. Malakia went out for no point. Trossard in for 2 points. Ilanga out, no point. The captain here was Haaland with 12 points. Jesus had 6 points. Bernardo got the 3. Foden had 11. Luis Diaz had the 3 points. Excuse me. Odegaard had 4 points. Trossard had the 2 points. Kerr had the 1 point, Saliba 1 point. They did have Trippier there, he got the 7 points. Their goalkeeper Henderson 2 points. They are 1 week on the drop. For me, the transfers that they brought in, they just did not light up the team. They brought no substance to the team. They brought no impact. Some players, they're not hauling in the points. There are a few light spots on this team, and I think the manager needs to sort that out there. Need to identify who not really performing and ejection. How do you go? Give parachute. Go, you go.
All right, okay. And do you want to take 10th spot then?
In 10th, no change either. Real, no stars. 55 points. No transfer. Haaland was the captain for 12 points. Jesus had the 6 points. Salah had 2 points. De Bruyne had 6 points. They had Aronson with 5 points. Decore only got the 1 point. Martinelli popped up with the 12 point. Coquerello had the 7 points. Walker-Peters, though, minus 1 point. Not good. Alexander-Arnold, no point, not great. Their goalkeeper, though, Edison, had the 6 points. However, they are 3 weeks on the drop overall. And another week, no transfer. The defence don't look good. What would be the word, Eamon, that you would use for the defence?
I would use the word shambles. The defence is a shambles.
Thank you, Eamon. So that is what the word be. And they slipping down table, not topping it.
That's fine. Listen, Hector, thank you very much for all of that. Eamon, do you want to finish off the table?
Very well. In 11th place, no change, is Cliche, 56 points. No transfers. They had Jesus as their captain for 10 points. Tony was there for 5 points. Kane had 7. Harrison, 2 points. Salah, 2 points. Rodrigo, 2 points. Maximin, 1 point. Trippier, 7 points. James, 1 point. Cancelo is there with 18 points. And the goalkeeper, Ward, 1 point. They too are 3 weeks on the trap. The midfield is not producing anything. Another week gone by with no impact, no concrete moves. This manager needs to refocus. Completely obscured. I think they're on holidays or something like that. In 12th place, no change either, is Blighton squad. 55 points. They had 2 transfers. Thiago Silva was brought in and didn't play, though there's no points there. And Salah was put out for 1 point. Maddison came in for 1 point and Salah went out for 2 points. Their captain for this week was Haaland. 12 points was collected. Jesus picked up 6 points. Xhaka picked up 2. Andres did pick up 6 points. Maddison only brought in the 1 point. Fornals had 2 points. Mikalenko had 1 point. Alexander-Arnold didn't have any points. Struikado did pull in 6 points, and Cancelo was there with 8. Their goalkeeper Pope managed to 2 points. This is week 1 that they're on the drop after a great run of having 5 weeks where they were rising. They'll be disappointed here. The transfers failed for them this week. There's too many of those 2-point players on this team, and I think that they probably hope for a better week. This is not for the want of trying. They are trying to do something. They're trying to get out of that spot and try and leapfrog over 11th and get into 10th place and kickstart their season. They seem to be misfiring or seem to be only on 1 or 2 cylinders there. But as I said, they're trying, and we have to give credit for that. They are trying. They have a little bit of experience now, and this is going to stand to them. In 13th place, no changes. None other than Better Idea 22-23, who managed to bring in a paltry 31 points. No transfer. Their captain was Salah for 4 points. Ings got 1 point up front. Tony had 5 points. Andreas got 6 points. They had Ward-Prowse for 2 points. Højbjerg managed 3 points. De Bruyne pulled in 6 points. Matip had 1. James had 1 point. Alexander-Arnold had no points. And their goalkeeper Fabianski came in with 2 points. They are now 3 weeks on the drop. No more than that defence that I was talking about for Real and all stars. This team, I'm talking about the whole team, is a bit of a shamble. Certainly doesn't look like this manager is going anywhere but down. They're going to be rooted to the bottom of the table there. It's disheartening to see that after they had shown some sort of activity, they've completely switched off. They've abandoned this team, and it's no wonder it's not functioning. But finally then in 14th place is Silverstone with 64 points. They didn't have any transfers. They've stuck with Salah as the captain and got 4 points. Greenwood got no points. Haaland has 6 points. Mitrovic, no points. Mount, though, did manage to pick up 12 points for them. And March picked up 2 points. Saka was there with 15. Cancelo, which is lucky, 18 points. Zivchenko didn't get any points. White got 1 point. Our goalkeeper, though, Edison, did get 6 points. And they're 1 week on the rise. If I had any advice for this manager, it's just I think they need to stay tuned in. Their forwards and their defence needs a little tweaking, a little changing. They got 64 points though, and that's good for them. They're closing the gap on the sleepyhead Better Idea gang. And I don't think, give them a couple of weeks, they'll be in 13th place there. So overall, a good week for them. They just need to stay tuned in and be a little bit more active. All right, lads. So listen, thank you very much for all the comments and the views there. Not much in the way of moving. We only had one team that moved there, Lafayette Lions. Yes, that's right. Just one team. It's a little bit tight in places on this table, and a lot of managers are having the same players. So you're calculating and you're getting similar points, same points as some of them, because they've got Haaland as the captain. Martinelli is there, Foden's there, Kane is there, Jesus is there, Tony is there. These guys, you're cancelling yourself out. So it's kind of probably find a player who's outside of that to maybe get you a couple of points. Struik Leeds is one there. Bruno Gameri's 15 points. Trippier is 7 points there as well. You have to think about that. Andre's got the 6 points there. And don't even think Saka is there also. So it's a couple of players like that. You need to think, will they deliver for me? All right, lads. That's it for another week. I suppose we might as well go back to Hector. Hector?
Yes, I am here. Hector's hellos are ready to rock and roll today.
Well, now, I hope they're not too long, okay?
No, not too long at all. Very short.
I start?
You want me to start?
I prefer if he didn't start, but I can't stop him, can I?
Okay, Hector, let's have it.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and Hector's hello is back again for another week. I hope you're all very well and have good day, good week, and all be fine with you. Hector, start off with saying hello to all our listeners in the UK, in Germany, France. We have listeners in Italy. I want to say hello to our listeners in Galway, Mayo, Longford, Dublin, down in Cork, over in Monaghan, Cavan, Fermanagh. I want to say hello to our listeners in Scotland. We also have listeners in America, of course, Texas, Florida, California, Pennsylvania. We have Philadelphia's there. We have New York. Say hello to my mum down in Brazil. Hi, mum, and all our listeners down there. We have listeners in Argentina also. We have listeners in Japan. We have a few listeners over in Turkey as well. And don't forget our listeners in India. Hector. And I say hello to our listeners in South Africa and finally to our listeners in the Netherlands. And that's it. And Hector's hellos will be back next week to say hello. So from Hector's hello is a goodbye.
Thank you for that, Hector. Okay, lads, as always, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for coming in this week, and hopefully we'll all be back next week. We'll have Captain Fantastical Mick with us, and we'll take a look and see how our managers are getting on. And normal service may resume for Eamon Tackles. Maybe Hector might have another topic to talk on, because as I said, I don't think that theology and psychology is really working out. We see, all right? We certainly will. All right, thanks, lads. I hope you have a good couple of days, a nice weekend. I will see you back here next week.
And thank you very much, and I hope all your listeners stay well also.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, nice to be here. Thank you.
Very well. And listeners, all that remains for me is to wish you all the best for the coming days. I hope you all have a nice weekend and that you'll join us. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for subscribing. Don't forget, if you want to get in touch with the show, you can send us an email to Arkham Avengers, FFPL @gmail.com. The email address will be in the show notes, and we are on Twitter and on Facebook as well. And I hope that wherever you are in the world, you have a good morning, a good afternoon, good evening, a good night. Mind yourselves, stay safe, slán.